Usually, as WWE approaches one of their premium live events, there is a certain level of pressure that comes with one of those shows. And no, I'm not talking about Austin Theory. I'm talking about just actual pressure. Pressure to outdo what you were able to do on your last big premium live event, and pressure to keep things going in a positive direction, which for WWE as of late hasn't been all that successful. And with that, there is also some added pressure to the superstars performing on that premium live event. Because obviously, that individual wants to go out and put on the best show imaginable and wants to try to climb the ranks a little bit. And I feel like that's true for the majority of WWE superstars, but with Backlash coming up, there seems to be a little more added pressure to one guy in particular, and that, in my opinion, is Bron Breakker. So, in this video, we're going to be talking all about Bron Breakker and the kind of extra added pressure that I feel like he's coming into Backlash with. But real quickly, before we get too far ahead in the video, I want to say that if you are a WWE fan, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. That is all we post is WWE related content, so if you are a WWE fan, again, consider subscribing. It's free. You can always change your mind later. So when I talk about Bron Breakker having some extra added pressure going into Backlash 2026, what do I necessarily mean by that? Now, what I mean by that is I feel like Bron Breakker is coming into this year's Backlash with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because this is an opportunity for Bron Breakker to remind everybody how good he really is. Obviously, we haven't seen him in a match since he got injured, since he returned at WrestleMania. We've obviously had him and Seth brawling a few times, but nothing like a true match. And why I think there is so much added pressure for Bron Breakker coming into this match is because while he was out with injury, a big shift happened in the WWE, and we saw these young NXT stars, mainly Obafemi, start climbing the ranks and kind of overtaking the future aspect of the WWE away from Bron Breakker. Because let's not forget, Bron Breakker, when he first got called up to the main roster, the majority of people saw him as the future guy of the WWE, the guy that WWE was going to build around, the guy that was going to be main eventing WrestleManias for years and years and years to come. But unfortunately, that injury for Bron Breakker came at the worst possible time because now we have a guy like Obafemi in the mix who has kind of taken over that spot. And I talked a little bit about this in my preview video for Backlash 2026. If you haven't checked that video out, go do so, then come back to this one. But I talked about how I still see Braun as being one of the cornerstones of the future for WWE, alongside Obafemi, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, all those guys. I see them as the kind of pillars of the foundation for WWE's future. Oba kind of leading the charge right now, but again, at one point in time, that spot was held by Bron Breakker. And things were looking really, really good for Bron Breakker when he first got called up to the main roster, where he was just destroying people left and right. Kind of was given the typical big, bad, scary dude start to his main roster career, like we saw with Brock Lesnar, like we saw with Obafemi. And with Braun, it worked, but then things got a little bit weird. And I think things got a little weird when Braun joined Seth Rollins and The Vision. Not that I'm saying that was the wrong move, because it wasn't. However, The Vision, for all intents and purposes, failed because of just everybody getting injured. And it just seemed like the overall booking of Braun Breakker when he got into The Vision just went downhill. Again, this is a guy that prior to joining The Vision became a two-time Intercontinental Champion. That's pretty high praise for a guy that was still relatively new to the main roster at the time. And again, the Vision failed because of all the injury problems that they had. And Seth being injured was kind of the first domino to fall, and it never felt like we were going to ever get a true payoff for what we saw happen when Braun speared Seth, kicking him out of the Vision, and Braun taking over. And I never felt like they truly capitalized on Braun turning on Seth and kind of taking control of the vision. Again, obviously, Braun had his own injury problems as well, which is why he missed some time. But again, even before the injury, it never felt like they were truly comfortable with giving Braun Breaker that type of position. And it was promising for a little bit. I mean, the promos that he was cutting were pretty good, but he just wasn't given that one big feud to kind of use as that stepping stone. And now, fast forward to Backlash 2026, where we are finally getting this payoff between Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. And this feels like Braun Breaker's opportunity to take that next step. Braun Breaker needs this win more than Seth Rollins does. A loss for Seth Rollins doesn't hinder him at all. A loss for Braun Breaker, on the other hand, I think actually does kind of hurt him a little bit. Again, this is a guy that had so much hype, so much anticipation when he came up to the main roster. The guy who went viral when he speared I Show Speed in the Royal Rumble. The guy who won 2 IC titles before joining Seth Rollins. And since they joined forces, things just have not been the same for Braun. And had WWE have done things a little bit different, we may have seen Braun and Bronson Reed go after the tag team titles like we all were kind of expecting them to do, and they just never did. And look, I'm not saying that Braun's entire time in the Vision was a total waste of time, because he was still able to show off what he's capable of and show that he's capable of having a good enough match against the likes of a guy like Roman Reigns. So while I wouldn't necessarily call it make or break time for Braun Breaker yet, this match with Seth Rollins at Backlash does feel like a major, massive opportunity for Braun, for him to take that next step and get back into the upper echelon when we're talking about the future of WWE. And if WWE can play their cards right, they could very easily set up WWE's next era feud. The same way that people talk about Hogan and Andre the Giant, Stone Cold and The Rock. You can go through all of the eras in WWE, and there is that one feud that sticks out above the rest. And WWE can do that for this next new era of WWE. If they play their cards right, their next big feud could end up being Braun Breaker versus Obafemi. Braun Breaker as a heel works incredibly well. He also works as a babyface, yes, but you already have your next big time babyface with Obafemi, who should probably be a heel, but let's be honest, I don't see them turning him heel anytime soon. So this isn't just a major opportunity for just Braun Breaker. This is a major opportunity to build Braun Breaker back up and possibly give us a glimpse into the future of having a feud, a legendary feud between him and Obafemi. So this is where I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on where Braun Breaker is at right now and where he could end up going with a win against Seth Rollins at Backlash. And also let me know if you agree or disagree with what I had to say in this video. Again, when I take a look at Braun Breaker, when he first came up to the main roster, he was in the Obafemi spot, where he was seen as the next big thing. He was seen as the future guy of the WWE. And I feel like for Braun to get back to that level, he needs the win over Seth here. So as always, leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. And while you're down there, swing by the description and click the Linktree link. That is the only link in the description for a reason. That is because it will take you to all of the social media platforms for this channel. I do strongly suggest going and checking out our X page. Besides YouTube, I am most active over on X. We do updates for Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and the PLEs. I will say, unfortunately, I'm busy this weekend, so there will be no updates for both SmackDown on Friday or Backlash on Saturday. But we will be back for updates on Monday Night Raw next week. And if X isn't for you, we are also over on Instagram and TikTok. Over there, you can expect clips from these videos, and it's just another place for me to post when I do upload a video on here to YouTube. So if you do enjoy these videos and you're looking for some extra content, again, Linktree link in the description. It'll take you to wherever you want to go. So with all that said and done, that is going to do it for this video here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. Again, both are free, both really help out the channel a lot. And of course, if you have made it to this point of the video, I want to say thank you very, very much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch these videos here, because it genuinely does mean the world to me. And as always, stay tuned for more WWE content coming in the future. We'll see you next time.